welcome to the Magic of Boots 62nd episode. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta with me. Uh, Another day of World Cup quarterfinals. Shudipta.
Those four teams are really gentle. I really like them because they did not actually go to the extra time.
Yeah, true. We'll talk about gentleness a little bit later. But uh, two games. First game. Where do you want to start? The first game or
Of
second
course,
game?
obviously the beat the Goliath, I guess.
I wouldn't say that. David and Goliath. There was not much difference.
Well, in a way, well, let's start from there actually.
Okay,
Uh,
Morocco versus Portugal.
yeah,
I did tell you on that video probably, or I don't know where.
yeah,
Portugal were coming all guns blazing 5-1 against Switzerland, but I said Morocco is this kind of team they don't want to face, and it actually happened.
yeah. I actually thought I did understand when they were playing Pepe in the last match, but today I don't know. Like playing against Morocco, I don't understand that decision. And also, like when they had the ball in the second half, even I don't know, for some reason Pepe was going up and he was missing the ball in the middle of the pitch, and he could not even run back. And there were only like three players to make rush tackles and everything. And
Giving her
luckily,
free
they
kicks.
yeah, exactly. And they um luckily, what's his name? Neves was there a few times. Actually, he rescued them basically. Um, and
Even
another thing is
Cancelo.
that like Cancelo came in later,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
on the left.
yeah.
Yeah, but both of their wingers were sort of like uh, playing sort of like a free roles. But the targeted guy, what's his name?
And Nasiri.
Actually, I forgot. Yeah, Nasiri. Yeah, he was brilliant actually. The goal reminds me of so many goals actually.
Yeah, it
In a
was a
way.
huge leap.
Yeah.
He's a tall guy, first of all.
Actually, actually, the goalkeeper actually did not understand the flight of the ball.
Here's my
Uh,
question regarding goalkeeping. Why Rui Patricio is not number one keeper in Portugal team? I didn't see
actually,
enough of this keeper. What's his name?
Actually,
Diego.
I have seen that actually. Diego Costa is a good ball playing keeper. The thing is that like for some reason, Rui Patricio is not a ball playing goalkeeper, and another
But they
problem with
don't
the
need one. They're not like that.
actually recently they started like building up the play from the back, and it gives a little bit more comfortable to the midfielders. Like both of the midfielders, they have like Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes, because they want to get involved in the more in like involved in like that sort of games and stuff like that. Sometimes I saw Bernardo Silva was picking up balls in the defensive midfield position and like push a little bit further, and they interchange positions a lot. That is another thing. Uh, but the problem is that like with the other guy, like with Croatia, we have seen like they have sort of like they can they have sort of like a ESP connection with like every one of those three midfielders. But with Portugal, it's a little bit different. Like they don't have those sort of connections. For some reason, it was broken like with the third guy. So like it is a little bit tough, and that's why probably they needed a ball playing goalkeeper to like shifted it out or something like that. Because other two center backs like Ruben Diaz is ball playing, and one center back is not. Whoever is playing, Pepe is not good in ball, as you can see. But whoever was playing in that position, and Diego Dalot sometimes needed a little bit boost if he's in the wing. So they needed someone in the back who can actually play.
But the reason
That's
I'm
the
asking is Rui Patricio. His positioning, especially in the
Mhm.
crosses and stuff like that, is
Yeah,
way better.
he's still brilliant. But so far, what I've seen, I guess like he's playing in what's his name?
Roma.
Roma. Yes. Yeah. I actually saw. I have seen him making really silly mistakes this
No,
season.
fair enough. I'm saying
Uh,
that, but he
and
didn't look. The keeper didn't look that much comfortable either with the Ghana game, Korea game. He had problems, and it takes knockout games are cruel. Just takes one or
um,
two moments of mistake, and that's it. And he was going against Nasiri. Um, yeah,
Nasser is really tall guy.
he's a tall guy, and he jumped really well. He timed it very well.
Actually, it was not about the jump. I That's what I said. Like he just missed the flight of the ball, because he thought it will be a little bit, like a inner, but it went a little bit like a, how can I say, it's sort of like outswinged
Outswing. Yeah,
on the air,
yeah.
sort of stuff like that. But a brilliant cross from that side, and well, another thing. Um, I don't understand still. Well, I guess like Mendes is injured. Other than going to be played in that game. But Cancelo is not starting. That's the thing I don't understand. And another thing is that they actually constantly changing the defensive midfield position. Ruben Neves looked a little bit clumsy in the beginning of the game, and and I guess like he was taken off. Vitinha is there. He's a really good, can I say, ball carrying player.
He
But
was a sub.
yeah,
Vitinha
yeah,
was sub.
yeah,
I was
exactly.
expecting Carvalho, right?
Carvalho, well, that's another issue actually. They have like so many central midfielder, but like I still think like Neves is still like irreplaceable in a way, and he did not actually started last game for some reason, I don't know. But he was needed actually, because he was a little bit clumsy in the beginning of the game, and that's how actually they got so many space in the beginning.
And almost everyone knew how Morocco is going to line up. Obviously, they're trying to hit you on the counter. That's a type of team.
Well,
Uh,
they also knew how Portugal is going to play,
no, fair enough.
basically.
Fair enough. Everyone,
And
it's
wh-
predictable.
yeah, yeah, it's basically, I don't know, like I can even, uh, if I have like 16 players, I can even like coach other team, like in my sleep against Portugal, probably. It is that sort of predictable, like you need someone like Rafael Leao, like to push your opponent a bit further, especially those sort of deadlocks they have in the wings. Nobody was able to move up, and there was a shot, I guess, like Portugal can say themselves like a little bit unlucky, that Bruno Fernandes cross or shoot, it was actually on the hit on the crossbar in the first half, I guess. First half probably. There were some few chances as well. Even like Pepe missed a header
Yeah, it was a.
at the end.
If it
Yeah,
was on
it was.
target, it
I
was
thought
goal.
it was in.
Yeah, Pepe is normally very reliable header.
Yeah,
He is very good on that.
that's what I do understand if he comes in the at the end of the game. But when you are facing a pacey team, because I saw him missing like 1v1 duels in the midfield, because the Portuguese defense was pushed up,
Pushed up. Yeah, he's not
like
really
way way pushed
for
up
upper
actually. Yeah.
high line.
And he's 39 years old.
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
understand
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
sort of decisions actually.
Exactly.
And that's another thing, like with subs, playing Joao Felix, sort of like a roaming role. He's not Lionel Messi. He's not and Antoine Griezmann or something like that.
He's not even who should I
Dybala.
name? No, 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 no. No, Nuno Gomez used to have a better.
Oh, Nuno Gomez. Oh, wow, wow. What a player. he was. But yeah, like he's not that guy,
He-
that sort of guys.
yeah.
And thing is that like I was like begging basically to see Rafael Leao in the first half when Portugal was like could not actually penetrate from the wings actually.
And I was a
And
little bit not sure
for some reason,
when they're panicking because after the goal, especially in
Mhm.
second half, they're trying to do too much, too many
No,
things.
actually, funny thing is that like tactical stuff of this game should like if we want to talk about like both teams technique or tactics, it actually ends in the first hour because from the after the 60 minute I guess like Cancelo and Cristiano brought in and they started like sort of like
Put the
kitchen
ball in
sink
the
throwing kitchen
yeah.
sink, yeah. So uh, it it doesn't make any sense sort of sense
No,
because like
you have to
and
even in the attack, it's important to have some kind of structure. So I was not
yeah,
sure who was actually doing the structure because sometime it was going side by side because they're blocking in deep, like they're blocking desperately, Moroccan team. And
yeah,
it was going side by side. Bruno Fernandes trying some haywire shots. It doesn't work always. I mean, most of the time it doesn't work.
yeah.
Just putting in the ball in the box does not warranty you goals.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I think that like Bernardo Silva should play in the right wings or some stuff like that or around this zone, and Bruno Fernandes should be close to him because whenever they are connecting, Portugal looks a little bit different team, you know. And that is the part because I don't understand because if they can connect in the match, that means they can connect during the training. And how can you don't like see those sort of
Exactly.
things?
And the
You are
other
coaching
part,
them like
and
24/7.
other part, uh, you bring on Cancelo, right?
Yeah,
What was his role? He was putting ball from almost half half space line from the
yeah.
middle of the ground. Push him up. He has brain. He can find a way. He can overload a side. Uh, it could be Rafael Leao. It
Yeah,
could be
that is how they become dangerous when they brought Rafael Leo because he was getting free kicks and on that side and like with Cancelo over his shoulder and sometimes Bernardo Silva was popping up late like actually a little bit later more late than Cancelo. So like they sort of like creating sort of like a overload on that sort of area, but they could
and
probably
Morocco was
get
struggling. I think
yeah,
Hakimi got a yellow card.
yeah,
Someone else got a yellow card, and they're struggling because
and
after one
yeah,
yellow
they got
card, you cannot
red
make
card. Yeah,
another.
yeah, yeah,
There's
exactly.
already one red card happened very late on
Yeah,
the game, but
exactly. And also like Morocco, because of injuries and other problems, actually Morocco doesn't have like enough center backs to cover like these three back line, you know. So that sort of things you should actually like think about like if you do those crosses like they will just like stay in the box they should actually like they were actually still you know going for counter attack like in 50 60 minutes.
or even
So
65th
and
or 70th minute too. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They were going actually counter attack, and when Portugal has like enough guy like Rafael Leo, basically like in Milan, he holds the ball and sometimes makes crosses to Giroud, and they win games like this. Um so many times we have seen that actually. Um, Bernardo Silva, he can make. I don't know. He can do everything basically. Like Bruno Fernandes, he's really good in like making those long balls towards the wings. You know, but there weren't any sort of like runners. There were, and another thing, Cristiano when they brought in, I don't know for some reason he decided to join in the build up and in the process he's lost the balls at least like three times in 10 minutes. So
Yes. They tried to pass him, and he tried to build up, and he's not a good at. He's good at finishing.
yeah, exactly, that's what you should do. And other guy
There
he's
are
like
other
what's
enough
his name,
guys to build up.
Ramos, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing is like they are putting crosses, and if that is the plan, then Ronaldo should not be there, and he should actually know that, because he should actually be in that like number 9 position, not in number 10 position or around the box or stuff like that, because there were few chances where like some other guys, because like Ronaldo still can like jump a little bit longer than anyone else probably in the world still. um he was not even in that sort of positions, like that means like you should make, if you decided to make those crosses, like it doesn't make sense. Like everyone is doing their what they can do best, but there weren't sort of like a game plan to
Exactly,
pick apart
exactly.
Morocco.
But credit to Morocco. They were hoping Portugal keep doing it because they can still hang on.
Yeah, yeah, actually, like it's easy defending. You know, like you don't
That's the
have to
only way
run
they could
that much.
defend
Yeah, yeah,
because
exactly, and
because
you
I
don't have
saw
to
some
run
of the
much.
players getting
They
cramped,
are really tired. Yeah,
cannot stand really.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Sofian
exactly.
Amrabat too was not.
Actually, like that, what's his name? The center back. He was taken off because he could not actually, like, he was taken on stroller.
Yeah,
Um, and that the guy who came in, he got like a yellow card in like 10 minutes. So like they already pushed, and that was actually from a tackle on Rafael Leao. So you really need those sort of guy. I don't understand this sort of coach actually anymore. I understand defensive coaches. You know, I understand Jose Mourinho. Mourinho has sort of like a, he has actually like scenarios like mapping on. He used probably Didier Drogba. Like I don't know, like I, I have never seen any player, any defensive coaches use a single player like this. You know, so like, but these coaches like they sort of like act like a like defensive
it's a
coaches,
full
but they
defensive
don't they
coach.
do. Yeah, it's sort of like a false false defensive coach. So they don't do anything at all, and this this is the thing I don't understand actually. Like using not using certain players and using throwing kitchen sink and stuff like that. And yeah, and this Portugal squad is like basically brilliant. Like they have like at least 22 players who can actually replace other and I don't know, play the same game.
Yeah, but credit where is due. For
Of
Morocco, they
course.
cannot do
Yeah,
anything worse than what they've done.
yeah,
Very proud. I think is it the first African country to reach semifinal?
yeah. First African
So yeah,
country.
bravo. What a achievement. Especially and in the crowd, there was a lot of Moroccan support. It was like home.
Yeah, I told you like it was buzzing. Like when they sniff something, sniff a little bit blood, it's sort of like buzzing everywhere.
How do you rate Yes in Bono? Because my my impression of Bono in Sevilla is he's okay, but not that good.
It's sort of like Ochoa
In Mexico.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like when he plays for Mexico, probably, or Amy Martinez, I guess. Because for some reason, certain teams, like their national teams, actually suited them more than their club teams or stuff like that. And again, actually, I was thinking about this as well. Like goalkeeping or like playing in a tournament and playing in a league is
League.
sort of like
Very different
uh,
things. Uh,
fair, like really, really different things.
yeah, yeah. You know, you're correct on that. But I don't have much to talk about because
No, after
got
60 minutes, basically, it was like
Morocco
throwing
got
kitchen sink.
Morocco got what they asked for, a goal,
Yeah.
and they wanted to protect it. I was a little bit suspicious because in my mind, Portugal have enough players. Even an individual brilliance could give them
Yeah,
1-1.
of course. Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, no, it's been disappointing.
Yeah, true.
And just to mention that this is potentially, actually, possibly the last time we'll see Cristiano Ronaldo at World Cup and his his living. The other part I wanted to discuss is that after the game, Pepe came out and also Bruno Fernandes came out. They were blaming Argentine referee, saying that they were uh, why they should allow an Argentine referee um, to run the game. But I found it was pretty funny because guys, you didn't score, and Moroccan player was actually red carded. They were in 10 men,
Yeah,
and if you could score, they were in 10 men, and there's a very good chance they could have been in 9 or 8 men.
yeah, exactly. Also, like I don't think they could actually carry the whole game. I guess, if
Even
it
the
plays like
commentator
for
was
a
saying.
yeah,
I think I think whoever was Peter Drury or something. Someone was there who was saying that if Morocco, if somehow Portugal gets a goal back, how the Moroccan will play the extra time. So
it wouldn't be possible. Basically, their body sort of it seemed like they
everyone was falling around
yeah,
and cramping. Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
unreal. But anyway, congratulations to Morocco. Um, I was struck by obviously 1998 Mustafa Hazi. I still remember him. He was very stylish number 7 for Moroccan team. And in how many years ago? 24. In 24 years, they're now in the World Cup semi-final. So yeah, great achievement. Shall we
Yep.
move to the next game?
Yeah.
Uh,
England versus France. What do you think about the penalties?
well, before that, I thought somehow uh, I, I said it. This is more close game than, and I'd probably just give a little bit of edge just to France, just because I don't have much faith on Southgate. But
Yeah.
credit to him, they tried to play or try to match.
Actually, they were were in front foot most
They
of the time,
they didn't have any
and
other choice.
yeah, exactly. And also, like, no, actually, since the beginning, because some players they're sort of like born to be, like be on front foot or stuff like that, and like Bellingham, Foden, and
Saka.
Saka. Yeah, like those three players actually pushed England, and that's why they looked so like a little bit attractive, in a way. But w- well, given given that the history of both of the coaches, and we discussed it in our show so many times, that their tendency, and we criticize them, and but it's a good game to watch.
Yeah, and time and again I keep saying that. Thankfully, some of the French players, such as Pogba, Kante, and those players got injured, so we can see talent like Chouamini, who scored a belter.
What a goal!
I don't really think Kante,
I do not believe it actually.
with all respect to Kante's ability, he's a very different kind of defensive midfielder. He wouldn't score that goal.
No,
Yeah, it
no.
was a brilliant strike, very clean. Because I think England were very focused on Mbappe and kind
Yeah.
of focused on Giroud and Griezmann.
There were actually four players just before the goal. Before Mbappe passed to probably Griezmann or someone else actually. So there were actually four players. Two was on uh, Walker, and Henderson probably was on him, and Saka was coming, and Bellingham was also on that side. Stones are on that side. He was there basically his position,
Yeah, I
and Maguire was
understand.
on the in the,
I
and there was a
understand.
huge gap in the middle
Yeah.
actually.
I what I understand is this is Mbappe. It's not Messi.
Yeah, exactly. They just panicked
Two,
actually.
two
They
guys.
managed the situations really well in the later of the game, but like i- like in the beginning they were so panicked by, like, I don't know. I well I
Yeah,
actually haven't
each
seen
time
that actually
Mbappe
since.
had the ball, they freaked out on that side.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. At
uh,
least like for first 30 minutes they freaked out, and since like once, I guess I remember, Kyle Walker came back from the back, actually and won a duel against Mbappe, and then I actually suddenly like started playing well against him.
It's just one
Um,
win, one small win that makes it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like that was really close. And on the other side, actually, Luke Shaw was brilliant actually, because well, it's either Luke Shaw was brilliant or Mbappe was out of his head or something like that. Any of these two. But
Yeah,
he actually created a really good chance, like from header, and Giroud actually took
are
a
you
shoot.
talking about Dembele?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
He was actually headed back and to Zero, and Zero tried to put it in, but the goalkeeper actually put
Yeah.
it out in the corner, and from that corner actually the goal came in.
And what I liked about England is the response. After the goal happened of Germany, they started to play and they didn't panic. That's the other part. Like Portugal panicked. Like,
Hmm.
we don't know what to do. Just put everything. But England didn't do it. Started to overload on
No,
the
their build-up was like phenomenal,
fantastic.
and whenever Foden was getting in touch, and even I remember he was like alone, like with like three other defenders, and he was winning the ball and tried to pass it in on the other side, and Saka started dribbling suddenly.
Saka
Uh,
started dribbling. Henderson came on and gave him that
yeah,
extra help. Bellingham came in and overloaded that area, and they started to. All of a sudden, Saka started a little bit of space because of those two guys coming in and helping him out. He started to move on. Kane looked a little bit dangerous. He started to, shot from outside the box. I thought it was going well. And Upamecano was very tight on Kane as well. And Kane was almost like prime Luis Suarez with the body movement and stuff like that, getting behind Upamecano as well. Uh, what was wrong? I thought the referee, the Brazilian referee, Sampaio, he made some horrendous decision. He didn't. Some of the fouls on Saka, especially in the first half, some were called, some are not called, um, and obviously
actually, normally if it's on the linesman side, he was always checking up with the linesman because at the time he was in the little bit back, and you texted me that was really funny. Like I was asking you, you were telling me like I remember that like I was
so you
telling you that
basically asked me what the linesman is doing, and I replied
yeah,
that they're just watching a very good game of football without paying for tickets.
that's what they basically did actually. Um, I don't understand so many things, and one of the things like normally the referee actually check it up because he runs vertically and he was like on the further side, so like he has to check up with the linesman because he has this clear view, like right in front, like either one guy is nicking up, and like Theo Hernandez actually could have actually get I don't know,
Red
like at
card.
least two
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. um he's lucky, really lucky,
Now
in
that
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 sense.
reminds me of a lot of linesmen. Of I used to see a lot of Bangladeshi league games, and a lot of good memories bring that back of some of the linesmen, inactivity. But coming back to this game,
I can actually tell you a story about the German Six Divisions League. Um, well, I was also like I went there, so like I was taking photos as well, and um, for me it's like I have like the big zoom lens, so like I can actually like see, like what you cannot see or stuff like that. And well, I stopped taking photos and like just put it in like on video mode or stuff like that. And I saw like the linesman, basically the line was there, he was a little bit behind, and this guy is a little bit fat, he cannot make it towards, because the other team was like really fast in attack. And I told you probably the German teams actually, even in like sixth division, they love to play on like really high lines, and everything is like in the middle. Like there was like sudden attack and that's it, goal and stuff like that. But he could not actually make it like 20 years. Like so many times. It was for me, it was really funny to watch because I was just over his head. You
Same
know.
thing. I played in some local leagues. Same thing. Every time the ref linesman doesn't want to move
No,
offside.
they yeah, then that happened so many times. Like, and thing is that like I was screaming basically from behind, and he did not understand a single thing, and I don't actually remember if I am
So
screaming in
I went to
Bengali,
one of
English,
the
or
linesmen
German.
and
Or,
asked him, why don't you just stand on almost on the 18-yard area and you don't have
yeah,
to
yeah,
move. Don't call offside if that is not offside, and
yeah,
got a
exactly.
yellow card for saying that.
That is also sort of disrespecting. But it's sort of like telling someone fat without saying him fat.
But yeah,
Well,
enough of this show. Coming back to this game, and referee Sampaio and his two other linesmen
Bunnies.
did not help. Did not help, but to trigger a lot of good memories about linesmen. Um,
Actually, it was both from both
yeah,
sides.
yeah. But Theo Hernandez is a lucky guy.
Yeah.
First, the penalty was given. Kane dispatched it, and I was thinking, okay, Kane against Loris, he must have seen him a long time in the training ground in Tottenham Hotspur. Um, and I was surprised Loris didn't dive normally when where Kane puts it. He dived the other way. Now,
Have you seen that statistics like where he's
yeah,
putting his
yeah,
so like yeah, basically it was there.
yeah. Either Kane puts it on Kane's left or put it normally with pace straight to the keeper. So I
Yeah.
think he was going to this. He was trying to be too smart by going it a little bit up on the left
For
side.
the second one,
Yes,
right?
he was
Yeah.
probably thinking too much. He just have to roll.
I thought like when went down, I thought it won't be given, because I have seen that sort of dilemma. I don't know. It's sort of similar to dilemma of guilt, like if you make a mistake and then you will make another mistake to make it justify, or if you make one mistake and you will just, like put yourself like it's sort of like you are not how can I say, analyzing the situation in both ways, and sort of this sort of dilemma. But it was given fine, like that was a horrible tackle. Mount isn't the really short guy. He's never gonna get that ball actually anyway.
Theo
But
Hernandez, I don't think he has seen the ball anyway. He was just going
no,
for Mount.
never. He just yeah,
And my question was, he should have been red carded for that because I could understand a guy going for ball and
yeah,
making
yeah.
a foul. I would give him benefit of doubt, but he's going for the man, not for the ball. I'd just put him out.
Basically, Billingham was like screaming, like
Yeah,
why,
it's another yellow card.
yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
that would have been a red card if the goalkeeper was not there, direct red. But he was the last defender. At least give
Mm.
him a yellow. Uh, but anyway, that's the
But
referee.
there was a tackle on Saka. I guess like it was in 65th 5 minute, or like around this time actually. Basically, he just smashed him with his boot, um, and it was like sort of like another yellow there.
But coming back
So
to France's second goal with Olivier
wow.
Giroud, the man, the X-Man, um, the guy, he tried to put just before I think he tried to put it on the side volley, and Pickford made a save out of it.
I was talking about it just before, like that actually came from the pass, I
Yeah,
guess from
was it
Mbappe
Griezmann?
or someone,
Yeah,
Mbappe or Griezmann, I
right.
don't remember. But it was headed in from Dembele, and then he was trying to like, he probably like I can see like at first he decided to shoot it towards the left, but then he realized that like there aren't much space there, so like he tried to nick it in a
Place
little
it.
bit
Yeah.
further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, try to place it. You cannot see from, you can see it from the body movement. And so far what I have seen him from him actually, like so many goals actually he scored like this with Milan, like maybe in last 3 or 4 Milan derby, I guess. um and I was like sort of like, okay, he smelled the blood, and
Yep.
then he just scored.
He's very, very reliable. If you put the
Yeah.
ball in the box and he's in his range, he's going to win it. Be it header, be it
And
volley.
another thing up until that actually, Harry Maguire was winning every header, like he was winning every duel.
Yeah, it was. I think Maguire went with him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was just behind, so couldn't make that intervention. But great goal, great goal. I think there was only one threat on the box, especially from crosses. I don't think there was any other threats from the box, and England had very good defenders on air with Maguire and Stones, and should have put more protection. But it's easier now saying on retro.
yeah.
It's
No,
just happened.
it's okay. Like it's okay if you concede this sort of goal, because you cannot manage this like for 90 minutes.
No, you can't.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
You can't. But
But
England
here's this.
almost was given back the gift by Theo Hernandez, recklessness and
Yeah,
brilliantness. But he got
yeah.
away with Kane being getting nervous.
I think Raheem Sterling was not there. Bukayo Saka is a really good penalty taker. Like he since that
Well,
Euro he never missed
there
a
are a lot of
penalty.
other players. I don't know Henderson just being. Um,
Yeah, Henderson also as well, like good penalty taker. He was
uh,
like a screamer basically.
yeah. So
Um,
if Kane was not comfortable, I mean, I don't. I know as a leader,
no, I know. I understand that like he is captain and he already scored, and it's sort of like a dilemma for a striker. It's not like a dilemma. It's like
and also
they
it's
will
his
always go.
advantage
You
too.
know.
He knows
Yeah.
Loris too. It's not
Yeah.
just one way around. He knows Loris
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. And I think before the second one, he thought too much. He should have actually give it to Saka. I guess like Saka would have actually a better choice. I have seen him since that Euro. He never missed, and most of the time he actually like give it the ball when penalty came in, came in the ball.
but
This
yeah,
sort of
Saka had
situation.
a very good game. He was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
impactful. I was a little bit when Raheem Sterling came in, he didn't find anything. And Luke Shaw, some of the crosses, putting it too early or somewhere, just hoping that some would be there.
Really deep. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was actually in the wrong side because Marcus Rashford was close to him, and
yeah.
Sterling was there.
Do you think England with this team would be fairly disappointed because it was fairly good team overall? They could play football.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
should
like
actually like since, yeah, actually if you rate this team against last Euros team, that is like really most close closer team actually. This team actually a little bit better, and they were actually playing a little bit like more football than stopping everyone and like get away with it, just stuff like that. And also like a little bit expensive. They fancy those sort of expenses, I guess, like it's because of Jude Bellingham. um it's mm, yeah, they can actually fancy themselves in semi or uh final, I guess.
yeah, but before the game, I saw some of the English pundit. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about some of the punditry that's happened in England, and they're talking about Morocco is there, so we are almost already. If we win this game, we are already in the final. So, um, I mean,
Even during the game, even like I saw that like they were talking about like when it was 1-1, and they're talking about if they win there will be a cheers for it's coming home and stuff like that, and they started actually just playing it's coming home when they scored the first goal.
and you know what? It almost felt like for the game. I mean, it was fairly even. Both sides were in it, but France didn't look like never out of control for some reason. Like they were never panicked.
No, they were really cool about it, and but they also fouled a lot actually. Like they tried to
The referee allowed it,
destroy. Yeah, sort of like that actually. They tried to destroy it,
and I know what
like
happened.
those build-ups actually.
I know what happened. It is a economable referee coming from South America, Brazil. So the refereeing standard is very different than English players are used to it in EPL or in Europe.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, some of the refereeing choices in this World Cup in key games have been really pathetic.
Yeah, true actually. What about Pepe's um how can I say
Well, Pepe
decision?
cannot have any kind of sympathy from. They did not defend well, considered goal, and that he could not score first of all, and then they could not score. If it was for their Portugal player gets a red card or something, I could understand that. That Argentine referee did nothing wrong on that game, uh, to my
There
knowledge.
weren't actually that game was even like that that much physical. Like there were a few tackles on Rafael
Rafael Leao,
Leao.
but that was it.
Yeah,
But that was it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But there weren't that much contract actually.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I don't understand. So he should go and talk to his captain Cristiano Ronaldo for having an Argentine girlfriend. Because what was it a setup of Messi? I don't know. Um, to give away the World Cup? I don't know. So it's talking about a lot of bullshit.
yeah, true. But thing is that like that referee in the France
The
England
Brazilian
game,
referee, Sampaio. Yeah,
yeah,
he's one of the
he
worst.
tried to manage the game as possible. But the thing is that like also yeah, also I remember there's this um there were some incident in the Morocco Portugal game. But those linesmen were also like the one, especially on the right side, like the Moroccan side. He was basically really inconclusive in some cases, and I was like listening him speaking to the referee, um, and he was actually like in his zone and replaying a little bit later, and that game in the Brazilian referee, he was actually basically in the middle because referee runs vertically. Both of the linesmen
Look,
actually like they were so
I
in
cannot
like
just blame the linesman. This referee seen some fouls happening within 6 to 7 years. He saw Mason Mount got thumped by Tio Hernandez, and well, I know VAR is there, but still, how can you miss that? Um, I understand the linesman is there, but he's still there. He's still there. He saw it. There is no excuse for him.
yeah, true. But that is sort of like a dilemma we talked about probably like putting who
And people think
who
that the European teams are gentle and they always try to football. No, they are as dark art as much as anywhere else. If they were given chance, they would do anything and everything. So France did get the help there.
yeah, true. Also like I don't know, like it's sort of like ruined the momentum of the game. Like if one bad decisions, like especially like a crucial one, and sometimes it creates sort of like a chain of events, like stuff like that, and um, well,
Yeah, but
it
yeah.
deviate a little bit.
Other
Yeah,
than that, I mean, France almost look like they're on the cruising mode and they never panic. They're fairly cool and they made some challenges. Not just Theo Hernandez, Shumeni was lucky, Rabio was lucky, but again, they're there to go. I mean, you cannot blame France for Kane
Well,
penalty miss.
yeah, if if you want to be in the final or champion, you need the champion's luck, you know.
Yeah, but
And
another cool
that's what
thing
people take.
I just figured out there's Croatia versus Argentina for semifinal. Second one is
Yeah.
between Morocco versus France. If you
Mhm.
look at all those four teams, they're very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Not like Spain, not like Brazil, not like Germany, uh, but fairly pragmatic and who can manage the game better than others.
This World Cup has become this like this actually because of so many ups and downs, and also like I guess like the nature of the weather there, like especially playing in the middle of desert basically. Uh, it's not good actually, and I guess like I was talking about that probably in the second round or in the group stages. Like I was talking about what does it call, um, turnover, because both like the teams you mentioned actually builds up from the behind, and their forwards actually runs a little bit more, you know, and other teams like who are in the semi, except for Morocco. Well, even Morocco were actually like pushing up on in that Spain game. Like they up until like 70, 75 minutes they were pushing up actually, but it has become a World Cup of turnovers. So whoever making these turnovers and winning the ball more up in the pitch, they are actually basically creating a lot of threat than the other teams. So that's how actually both like all the other three teams so far they are in the that zone.
Yeah, it would be interesting because Morocco doesn't play that. They're very pragmatic. France is very pragmatic. Well, Morocco may be a little tired and a lot of injury. Right there, there's some key players injured. Hakimi included. Sorry, not Hakimi. Hakim Ziyech included. Uh, France looks healthy, but again, they were beaten by another Arab team, Tunisia, not very long ago. Um, Anything can happen, and also they don't want to take that game to the others. It's almost like there's a way of pragmatism in both sides. You look at Croatia; they're good at circulating the ball in the middle of the park and take control in the middle and try to suffocate the speed or the tempo out of the opposition. And they're good at that. And they have very good backline with Vardiol, Lovren doing all right as well, with good keeper. And if you see Argentina, it's been they managed most of the game well, but yeah, there is a bit of panicky. I understand, but I think that's the only team that is actually can play extravagant way if they want. Other than that, I don't. The other teams that have been not in the semifinals, it's been when Spain won 7-0, everyone is talking about passing game. They'll pass you to death. Um, Brazil winning 4-1 against South Korea. I thought, we said it's South Korea, where first of all was nervous and given too much space.
Yeah, also like they were giving the ball easily.
And had a bit of
That's why
respect.
Brazil look. Yeah,
If you have
yeah,
respect for Brazil, you'll never gonna beat them. That's the
yeah,
first rule.
exactly.
Uh
Or respect for any team actually before the game,
yeah.
because yeah, if you see the champions players like Messi, Ronaldo before the game, they don't even blink. So even with their I don't know, teammates from the clubs. So this sort of mentality actually take you further. Another thing is that what I'm saying, giving away space actually in this World Cup, it will be a little bit, how can I say, um, self-destructive in a way, because if you see those goals conceded in this quarterfinals, most of the goals actually came when, like, especially the comebacks, um, Netherlands came back because Argentina let Netherlands played in the wings, and from wings they created crosses. And France game, France got basically they got freaked out on Mbappe, and Mbappe passed the ball, and there were huge space. So like whenever the other team actually letting you get some sort of space around this area and make turnovers, like any teams looks dangerous. And any of these four teams actually, in a way, they have really good turnovers in the middle of the field. So that's why they attacked a lot, actually. And if you see, except for Brazil, I guess, in the quarterfinals, there were XG difference was most of the time it was from 15 to 13%, and with Croatia it was like really really close, but the XG difference was like really like high. And most of the time, what we have seen, except for Croatia, the higher XG teams actually ended up winning the game.
Yeah, no, you're right. But with that, even I'll not go back to Brazil much, but I cannot help but criticize uh, Tite for still having Thiago Silva on that team as passenger. There were four players disjointed. It was like two half. Their attack, their defense is like old school 1910,
70.
1920s tactics.
Basically
Like
the
half of my
19
team will be in attack, half of my
attacking,
team
yeah.
will be in the defense. That's like schoolboy stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and on that defense, you still have Danilo. You have Alexandro coming from injury as a substitute, and you have Thiago Silva. It's like massive soft belly. You don't have a hard six pack. Um, but yeah, anyway, I'm not going to talk much about Brazil and Tite. I think Tite just resigned. It would be interesting to see
Yeah.
who takes over the Brazilian national team.
There are talks in Brazilian media to replace him with a foreign coach,
Yeah,
for the
there
first
is
week.
no Brazilian coach there. It's all the Brazilian team that is winning the Copa Libertadores is all Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing is that like the Brazilians, they are really defensive minded coach, and players now right now like,
As if Portuguese doesn't. So
well,
the so the except George Jesus, who won it for with Flamengo, beating the River
yeah,
Plate. He played a little bit. He's right now in the Fenerbahce. He played a little bit of expensive football. Otherwise, all the Portuguese team, sorry, all the Portuguese coaches I've seen in Brazilian league is ultra conservative. Um,
yeah.
but
Another thing, another thing is that like they have players, basically, I don't know, like they are asking for a World Cup. Those players who came in, I mentioned yesterday, like I did not understand why Martinelli is not there, why Bruno is not there. There are some other players like they have this, like I can understand that like
he lost the
Gabriel
game.
from
He
Arsenal.
lost the game on the midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
He
And
doesn't have
we
a
doesn't have
midfielder.
midfield. Yeah, actually
He has
only one
Casemiro
guy. Yeah, 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 exactly.
and
And
Paqueta.
as
I understand he's a little bit of flary, good association guy, but he doesn't have a midfield.
yeah, exactly. I can understand like inverted fullback probably give you some sort of shade, but They are not going
And
to
that's
win
the
you
reason
balls
they
every match.
didn't even win in the Copa America final against Argentina,
Yeah,
because they didn't have midfield.
yeah, exactly. And at the end, basically, like, well, like we discussed it probably with our videos, but he was throwing kitchen sink,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. I don't have anything else to add. Any final?
Not really. Can we go to the numbers? I don't know if we want, uh,
Sure.
like
But
last.
like the stat you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
There aren't actually anything interesting I have seen so far from the stat as well. Let me check one more. Let's check this out.
Okay.
Can you watch?
Yeah.
Oh, it's loading. Yeah, basically this Portugal versus Morocco. Mm, Let me check out the shapes actually. Um, yeah, darker team is Portugal and lighter
Well,
Morocco.
they have a flag somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
there's a flag. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Portugal attack basically. Well, it was well distributed, but Moroccan was from the left, I guess. That goal actually came from the left as well. Heat map most of the time in that side. Wow. Morocco basically let Portugal played the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the game were played in this source. Oh. Hmm, let's check out the average position of the players.
Tells you the story, huh?
Yeah, basically they're digging deep. There were some like pushed in the attack, like those guys were
I
like
don't know if they're digging deep and France wants to dig deep too. This would be interesting.
I don't think so actually. France is going for digging deep and stuff like that. But let's see the other game actually, uh, just to have a look. I guess like if we are missing anything. Yeah, France is the darker one. So yeah, as usual,
Hmm.
France went to the attack in the well, surprisingly to the right.
Yeah, because Mbappe was marked really well, and Dembele
Yeah.
was. They thought Luke Shaw as a weak spot, so Dembele was getting a lot of ball.
Mhm. But England attack was more evenly distributed actually, but a little bit from
Still
in
on the
favor of
Saka side. Yeah,
yeah. But it was played in the middle. It's a good game actually to
it
watch.
was. It was
Yeah, from the heat map actually so far. Um,
fairly even all over.
yeah, even almost. But England has better touch in the midfield actually, and France has better touch in the wings. Let's check out the average position actually. That is interesting.
It is.
Basically, everyone was in the midfield from England and France. I don't know. They distributed well. They ran a lot, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. I don't want to add anything more
No,
actually.
I think we have talked fairly, and that kind of replicate what we just saw on the set. We already
Yeah,
talked about it, so
yeah,
there's
exactly.
no point of talking more actually. So in case we don't have anything to add, I guess we can.
Any prediction? Uh, who is going to the final?
Some of the worst ref for sure, and some linesmen that don't pay attention to their duty
But I guess like Michael Oliver should be there in the final.
because England is knocked out.
Yeah, it's a good actually way. But I don't want to see these Spanish referees from Argentina Netherlands game.
Matthew Laos. I don't want to see
Yeah,
him refing any game, to be honest. Even if it's a Segunda division between Real Oviedo and Real Zaragoza, I don't want to see him at all.
well, well, you will see him anyway if you want to follow Barcelona, Real Madrid, or any other those
La Liga,
clubs. Or
yeah.
yeah,
But on that note, I guess we can wrap it up.
yeah,
Thank you for joining. We'll keep continuing our conversation in the semifinals and forward.